This shouldn't take long, but I did want to respond to this poster in a video form because I thought that what she asked was a good question and that it would be important for other people to hear this answer. So she asked about the aspect of dating where the guy comes and picks you up. You know, in our modern times, people do a lot of internet dating. We aren't really set up, and we don't meet people in environments where we've seen them dozens of times before. That hasn't really been, I'd say, a very popular way to meet people. It still happens, don't get me wrong. People are still set up, by their aunts and grandmothers and on, their moms and all the stuff. But the majority of young single people meet these days by using either those dating apps or some kind of dating website. That seems to be like, have moved into the #1 slot as far as meeting people, or some kind of social media, internet based something. So she writes, I want to ask you about guys coming over to your house right away. I get in my car and I meet them wherever we're going on the first date, and they seem to hate that. But I have to be comfortable, and I've been stalked too much to let men know where I live so soon. Is it okay that I drive to the date site, or should I allow a man to come over to pick me up for the first date? I haven't done that in 4 years, but I know some women who let guys come over on a first date to, pick them up. So I wanted to talk about that, and one of the things that I want to talk about is I remember this skit that comedian Louis C.K. did some years ago, and in it he talked about dating and bravery and how men are brave when they ask a woman out. That's the extent of their bravery. They're facing rejection. Women, statistically, by agreeing to go out with a guy, face death. So he says, he just breaks it down. He's like, we men statistically are the #1 threat to women worldwide and have been for centuries. And he's right. When you look at diseases and all the things that kill women off, those are pretty low on the list. What kills women are men worldwide. So he has a point, and I have to bring this up because of her concerns, and they tie in together. She's actually been stalked. Some people that's a fear, but she's experienced it. These guys are nutty as fucking fruitcakes. So to me, there would be no reason for a woman to let a guy know where she lives, and not only where she lives, but where she works. You talk too much. You tell too much of your business to guys you don't even really know. And you have to stop doing that. I know a friend of mine was talking about she'd gone out with a date with this guy, right? And she made a mistake of telling him that she worked for Uber. In the city that she worked in, there's just one office. So a dude shows up at her job. And he asked for her. He had some flowers to give her and stuff. So, this receptionist calls her. She goes down the elevator. And, she goes down there. And then this dude is standing there with these flowers. And she was stunned because he went through all the trouble to come to her job uninvited and unannounced. And, with these flowers and everything, expect her to drop everything that she's doing, not knowing what's on her schedule, if she was at a meeting with her boss, if she was out of town. He didn't care. He just showed up at her job with these flowers, thinking about what he wanted versus what was going to make her feel freaked out and like he was some kind of fucking creepy stalker. Okay? So my answer to this young lady is, I think that you're doing things exactly the way that they should be done. There's no reason these days, I know that used to be the way things went when young women lived with their parents and there was people at the house when these dudes would come over. Most likely your daddy would be sitting there and say, come on in here, young man, tell me about yourself. What you doing? What's your name? Where's your family? What you doing? Where you go to school at? What's your plans for the future? Your parents are going to try to get a feel for who this dude is and if he should even be in your life or not. There was that kind of protective barrier around young women. But most, you're in your mid-20s. You're on your own now. You're living by yourself. And you have to take these necessary precautions because of the statistics that are out there. Now, there's this one woman who met this guy on social media. This story came up. This happened right down in Southern California. You know, I'm in Northern California in the San Francisco Bay Area. This happened in the LA area. It's about 600 miles away. So this chick, you know, she meets this guy on, shoot, I forgot where she met him, one of those dating sites. And they hooked up, they went out, and he's taking pictures, right? They're posting pictures, but people were saying that it was obvious that she was inebriated. What it turns out was she'd been roofied because she didn't remember going to his hotel. She didn't remember anything. She woke up the next morning with big knots on her face, beaten up, blood all over her clothes everywhere, and dude was gone with her car and her credit cards and her cell phone. And she didn't know what had happened, but, you know, of course they did an exam and figured everything out. And because she had posted pictures, which is something that I definitely advise, they were able to figure out who he was and to find him in her car. And they activated some app on her phone, tracked his ass down, and within 24 hours his ass was behind bars. But, you know, just think, this happened because, you know, the guy was a kook and she didn't really know him, but it's a kook that you would be inviting into your house if you let these dudes come and pick you up. Not only that, some years ago I wrote this article called, I think it was like 2009, I wrote this article called "A Date Is Not You Making Butt Prints on My Couch." And it goes into I'll put the link up in the description so you can click it and read it. It's on surviving dating. And you know, so a lot of women they don't expect to be taken out. They don't expect the guy to do anything for them and to try to get to know them. It's like the guys just want to come over to their house, turn on the TV, eat up all their food, drink up whatever they have in the refrigerator, and screw them and then duck. So you guys have to do better. I mean, if you want a guy to take you out on a date, then you have to demand that he do so. You do not let him come over to your house. This is especially vital if you have young children. Why are you letting strange men up in your house? And then you want them to like sit up there and lay up and go wander around your house and go to the bathroom and all this stuff by themselves. You're putting your children at risk. Even if he doesn't molest, you know, like rape them, he still could feel them up or have them do something to him or something, you know, in the 5 minutes that you think he's in the bathroom. So you gotta think more and stop being so brand new about this kind of stuff. So anyway, for this young lady, I am in full agreement with your program. I think that is the smartest way to do things, especially since you've experienced stalkers in your life already. I don't really see any reason why a guy that you just met would need to come over to your house. I mean, you got to meet him out and kind of get a feel for who and what he is. I mean, you might only want to see him that one time, but then he's got, like, you know, he knows where you live, he knows where you work, all this kind of stuff. I mean, why would women do that? I don't understand that oversharing and making yourself so open and vulnerable to complete strangers that could be nutcases that just got out of prison for murder or some shit. You know, you don't know these dudes' story, and you're making yourself just unnecessarily vulnerable to them. So my thing is, I don't think a guy should come to your house until you've been on 4, 5, 6 dates with him. That's my personal stance. A lot of them, you know, they hide who they are until that 3rd or 4th date, and then the fool comes out. And then now, you know, he knows where you live, and if he doesn't like the fact that you don't want to see him anymore, you're gonna have a problem. So, you know, I would think by the 6th, 7th date, you have a pretty good feel for if he's a nutcase or not. But you still have to do things like watch your drinks, not let yourself be too drunk around him. You know, stay alert. And I'm not saying you can't like trust him ever. I'm just saying you have to be cautious. This is just a necessity of the times that we live in. People are crazy. They're not, the risk is just too high, because once you've been hurt or abducted or killed or whatever the hell they're going to be trying to do, you know, there's no coming back from that. I mean, even if you're still alive, you've been injured psychically and emotionally. And the best way to do that is take your time. Don't rush into anything with these dudes. They will still be there. They ain't going nowhere. And if he does go somewhere, so what? There's another one right behind him, like a bus. So be careful. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself and to protect yourself and to feel comfortable in your situation, whatever that is. Whatever I say, those are mere guidelines. If you need to wait 10 or 12 times dates before you let them come to your house, then you do that. Whatever I'm saying here, these are not rules. These are, suggested guidelines or something that I would feel comfortable with. But you're not me. So, you do what works for you. But I do, like I said, caution you, don't be so, anxious to be having some dude over. I mean, then you're going to feel like he's there, and then what? What if he decides he don't want to go? What if he decides that, you're going to be in a situation and, you knew what time it was, and obviously you let him over, so you knew what was going to be happening, so why are you tripping now? And then he gets a little forceful with you. There's just too much at stake. And I think that, unless you packing a Glock or you got some other kind of heat and you got like a pit or something that's going to protect you, you need to be very careful about the men that you let into your environment, and let know where you are in positions where you're going to be vulnerable, like sleeping, showering, toileting, and things like that. You got to be, be on your P's and Q's, like Louis C.K. says. All right. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Now that you've seen some of the grade A content that's offered on the Debsterism channel by advice columnist and author Deborrah Cooper, please become a subscriber. Just click the subscribe button below, then click the little bell symbol that you'll see. By doing that, you'll be sent notifications directly to your cell phone right after new content is uploaded, so you can be one of the very first people to see the new videos and to comment on them. So please like, please subscribe, please comment, and please share a link and tell a friend. If you can do all those things, I'll love you.